Okay, all right. Again, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. So today we're gonna have a sharing session by me. So I share first my slide. Okay, hope you guys can see it clearly. Okay, I try my best to get a good view for you guys. Alright, so today we're gonna have the sharing session on the instrument development and promoting your research. And I am a associate professor, Dr. Azean, and I'm sure that you guys in a very good mood. Okay, still in the morning. However, we just have a 1 hour sharing session, and you are allowed to interrupt at any time if you have any question. So you don't have to wait until the end of the session. If you have a suddenly idea want to ask, if in a short question, you just can unmute your mic, or you can type any question in the chat room on the right side. Okay, all right. So today, of course, instrument, again, the instrument always be main things and the important things when you want to prepare your chapter 3. Okay, all right. However, first of all, okay, what I can say here, which is what actually research instruments. So in our panel, okay, I'm sure in our panel, which is sometime uh, we cracking our head this objective, and we have the second part, this research question, is it suitable or not to use appropriate research. So what actually the research instrument, appropriate instrument, okay? So the research instrument actually the tools, okay? So the tools which is you can collect, you can measure and analyze. So make sure that you can measure your objective. So when you want to measure, but must be aligned, easy can be analyzed. If you have the instrument, but suddenly it cannot be analyzed, let's say you want to see the differentiate between this A time, and you have the intervention, and you have the B time, but you didn't collect your data for the A part. So how you can analyze accordingly to your objectives. So you must know, which is make sure your instrument can be measured and analyzed. Sometimes it can be analyzed because you didn't put appropriate item or an inappropriate design that is a little bit hard for people to know which actually context that you want to refer to. So the instrument usually, what you can see, they can be determined most of the time in the chapter 3, which is the methodology chapter. And therefore, when you want to design, when you want to develop your research instruments, make sure it follow steps, which is the crucial part, which is when you design, you will refer to your supervisor, check each context and perspective you want to look at. You need to validate by the expert, maybe in terms of the uh, presentation design, technical design, the content design itself, right? So this is the part that you need the expert validation, maybe from the industry people, or from the another senior teachers, or another expert from your field, technology, and etc. So make sure this step you follow, that make sure at the end when you go to Viva is valid instrument that you used when you want to collect the data. And the instrument would be interview, test, all right, survey, checklist, activity, all right, rubric, and etc. So me myself, when I do my PhD in 2008, all right, uh, I have to come up with the rubric. So I create my own rubric, and from that rubric, I will measure. I do the observation on the certain skills that I want to look at from the students. So, therefore, the rubric itself must be validated by someone expert from your field or from the perspective of the let's say you are from the technology or multimedia or from the you want to look at from the science subject or mathematics, all right? Sometimes the content will be different. So you must have the valid person that you want to appoint them. Okay, this is the instrument basically idea. So overall, if you look at from the as Hanford, which is what actually the instrument, must remember when you go for the chapter 3, it refers to the tools, which means investigator attempt to measure variables, and you must remember your variables of your research, okay? So all the item of interest in the data collection process. So if you have the 5 variables you want to look at, is it suitable for this instrument? Or sometimes in the one objective, okay, let's say you have the A, B, C objective, sometimes your B objective need 3 types of instruments. Let's say you do the triangulation, right? So you need maybe you need a 3 instrument, which is maybe first from the perspective of the students and support by supporting details by the expert, and third maybe from the peers, all right? So you must remember which objective that's suitable with your instrument you want to design and develop, and how you can mix a good research instrument. So this is a very important part. Make sure that your instrument must be valid and reliable, right? And when you talk about the valid, therefore, okay, you need the expert to validate maybe for the PhD, at least 1, 2, or 3% to validate your instrument. And is it reliable or not? As you have to run certain context that make sure that this instrument will be valid and reliable. Make sure valid and reliable. Some student valid instrument but not reliable. So sometimes you have to delete certain items, or you have to touch up, redesign, make sure that it reliable to that particular respondent. For example, what can I say here? I have one project with my master student. So he had to develop the applications, the apps. However, he developed a very good apps, but it's not reliable, it's not suitable with the Down syndrome students. You have all the activities in your apps, right? So therefore, you have to a little bit technically um, which is in the low perspective, which is suitable with your respondent. You have a very bombastic development, but it's not suitable with your respondent. Okay, if you look at the Down syndrome student, they love to push the button, everything. They love to drag anything color in your apps. So if you have many buttons, all right, so it's not suitable for that particular respondent, all right. So therefore you make sure that it's valid and reliable, so the expert will know which is it this part will be okay or not. But the first person that you must refer your supervisor, all right, to get the first idea. The second, it must based on the conceptual framework, your theoretical framework. For example, here you are using the, let's say, project-based learning. You have a few elements inside your conceptual framework or theoretical framework, and all these elements or characteristic must be characteristics which is based on your theory, must be applied, or you must be integrate in your development. So must look at from the perspective of conceptual framework. Some student, they refer to A theory. Theory A have the 11 elements, but she or he just select 3 of it. Will be okay, but you must have the justification why you just look at from the 3, because from that perspective, it's not complete as a one cycle of the theory. Let's say the PBL have, let's say, have 12 elements. You just select 4 of them. Is it fulfill as a PBL as a whole, right? So therefore, you must look at our conceptual framework. And number 3, what you can see that how you make sure that when you gather the data suitable with the research topic. You have the topic about the learning mathematics and etc. But your content may be not look at purposely on that certain topic. Alright, so that research topic must be suitable. And therefore the instrument must or can be tested based on your hypothesis or answer your RQ. All right, so this is the thing you want to investigate. We want to look at from the your research and also from the design of your method. Okay, research design. Okay, and the important thing, please free of bias and appropriate from the for the context, which is culture diversity of the study. So they make sure um nobody hurts, okay, based on your instrument. Sometimes you say that teacher do not have, okay, the words don't have, never. All right, let's say, is it the wordings that you use in your development, in your instrument, in your rubric? Is it um effect on the certain person, right? Because all these things have you will put inside your thesis, and it must be clear, definitely, which is instruction. If they have to go through this instrument, they need to scale, they need to answer from the scale A to 5, sorry, 1 to 5, or A, B, C, and D. So clearly instruction on the top, or if you need the explanation as a supplement where you want to distribute your instrument, so you have to do all this process. And another perspective where designing an instrument, so bear in your mind, first thing you must remember that when a poorly designed instrument, so it will be lead to the bad data. So this is the I'm afraid of, when you design and suddenly you distribute to the respondent without having a discussion with your supervisor or from the expert. All right, so it can be lead to the bad conclusion. Therefore, sometimes you will have to gather a back, collect a back the data. So it will take about 3 to 4 months. Okay, so make sure uh you design appropriate instrument. Sometimes student like, oh, my supervisor very busy, so I have the instrument. I use this instrument from this A expert 50 years in this field, but it's not suitable with your research focus. So you can adapt, you can adopt, but make sure appropriate redesign of the instrument will be suitable match with the RQ. And therefore, developing a good instrument is a most important part, because you will come up with the high quality of research findings, and you can do a conclusion, and that will be part of your contribution to the body of your knowledge. All right, okay, and continue from there, what you can see, which is the data is collected must, not only as good as the instrument, but it's suitable with the uh, you have the theory, you have the respondent, it must be a good data types. Okay, how these data types, because sometimes the data types not suitable with your variables. Okay, so the data is collected is only as good as the instrument. So therefore, maybe you want to do the inferential analysis or descriptive analysis, so it can use when you do or collect the data. So as a conclusion, a research study are only as good as the data that will be collected. So make sure good instrument will promote or will help you to collect a good data, and from the good data you will get a good finding and also summary, and at the end that will be your um, contribution to your research area. Okay, so this will be the main thing, the four main thing where you want to design an instrument, and it will be lead to a good process of another phase. Okay, now the importance, which is when we look at the instrument development. The first part where you want to design, there's a four things you want to look at and where you want to design. So how about on the development, the next phase of your research, which is the development of your instrument itself. So for first things you must remember, to develop an instrument, so the common concept and the valid construct are required. So back to your construct again with the supplementation, strong theories. You can ignore, let's say you have a few let's say justification, then you ignore that justification. So be in your mind, this will be important things. So base again, when you develop, after you design, you want to develop, must based on the strong theories or concept approach that you are referred to. And the second part, a problem in social science arises when there is a lack in strong theories. Okay, which is you're not sure. I base in the uh, A theories. I have these characteristics, and suddenly you refer to the same theory by someone else. So you're not sure. Is it I have to follow A or B? So make sure maybe where you do the literature review, so many people, okay, researcher out there say that based on this story, the final and the latest version that's suitable in our 2022 context and in the situation or environment which is in the endemic currently. So this instrument can be perhaps okay that you base on your development. Okay, all right. So for your development, sorry. So strong theories, okay. But you must remember, good theory and good measurement are often prerequisite for a standardized measure. So remember, when you develop the instrument, okay, you have the good theory, but make sure good measurement. Is it? Again, you must refer back to your research methodology course. Remember, okay, the research design course, right? So it will be prerequisite, right? So is it this measurement, uh, this item suitable where you want to do the analysis for this instrument? And developing an instrument requires a solid theory that is widely accepted and in the scientific community. So sometimes you like a 50-50, is it my theory okay or not? You just refer to 2 or 3 journal only. Suddenly say, okay, confirm I can use this theory, but that will be from the work of the undergraduate students or from the perspective of the 2019, right? Or 2009, right? So is it still valid in the 2022? Because you will submit your thesis in 2023, is it still will be relevant, all right? So therefore, must be based on the solid theory for the instrument development. Okay, just share with you, there are so many instruments out there. So in this basket, okay, so I just share with you the top 5 on the instruments. So there are so many instruments out there, right? So I just share with you, which is the 5 top instrument. What you can see here, the first one, maybe you can use the interview, all right? So you can use the interview by face-to-face conversation, maybe from the two people, okay, two individuals. Maybe you want get the relevant information to satisfy your RQ, right? So maybe this is your interview for the first instrument. Okay, interview can be many style. Okay, maybe you can have the structured, semi-structured or unstructured. So some of the student, many of the student use the semi-structured, all right? So you have the maybe provoke words, okay? Sometimes you have the something that you want add on with the tips and extra, right? Okay, sure, I will share with you the PowerPoint, okay? So some people need, some student, some research, okay, need the unstructured. Okay, so no worries. Sometimes we need to use unstructured. When you look at to your friends, everybody use the right structured would be okay, no problem. Sometimes we need to do unstructured interview. You have to jump from this question to this question because this is the people that are very busy. And from this C question, you jump to the E, all right? So sometimes it relevant to make sure these people continuously give feedback to you, right? So no worries on that. Right, okay. So I'll just share with you the basically, so the structure interview. So the structure interview, it is a verbally administered question, which is in term of that it is a survey level and is usually completed with a short period. So maybe a 15 minutes interview or 10-minute interview, you have question A and followed by B, C, D, and E. So this would be very good structure interview. However, it doesn't mean the second one didn't not good enough. Okay, all right. The semi-structure interview, it allow a little more leeway for researcher to explore the subject matter. Sometimes people didn't focus to your research. They go to another another perspective. So you have to take them. Okay, so you want to lead them. Uh, get them back to your research. If research focus, we want this kind of answer that can support your data, right? So you need the semi-structured. So therefore, sometimes you have the provoke work. All right. So you maybe impose guide them. All right, to go to your focus. All right. Help me, help me, help me. Okay. So you can see help me. So do you add on with certain words. So therefore, they will come, they will elaborate on the words that you use. Okay, and the final one, you can use the unstructured interviews. So what is the unstructured interviews? Actually, it is an in-depth interview that allows the researcher to collect a wide range of information. Sometimes you go to some kind of people, the old people or the very super senior teachers, or we have the part-time student that their age which is 50 years and above, or you want to go more details, but this respondent which is student in the 4 to 6 years old. So how you want to get information from them because they want to play. They are 4 to 6 years old students, all right, kids. You want to interview them. So you have to do unstructured interview, all right? So you can get more information from that particular person or individual, right? So this will be interview. Example, this is just an example. You can have so many kind, let's say structure interview. So make sure it eliminates redundancy, okay? Just example, okay? So sometimes don't go for the overlap or potentially illegal question. Over not I didn't mean that overlap same question. Sometimes yes, you need same context but from a different perspective, right? Different perspective. So it will be okay, but don't overlap like same question again, same question in the another wording, same question because you want to guide them to go to answer your RQ, all right? But try to do in the other's perspective so they don't rely, they feel like another question. Okay, and number two, it is systematic, consistent, and uniform. Okay, this is a very important, uniform, right? So don't jump to a question, suddenly you go to another situation that make confused with for the respondent to answer your question. And number three, provides a record of the interview and defense against lawsuits. So make sure don't do something like not feel good for them when they want to answer the question. So and also it save the interview time where you have put appropriate. And when you look at this on the left side, maybe you can see that describe your experience. Can you describe your experience directly? Which is your position? Okay, so this is wording that you can have. Sometimes you didn't read all one by one these wordings, right? But you can elaborate this kind, just example of the interview, open-ended question to your respondent. Okay, semi-structured. So this is the semi-structured. Okay, where I share with you just let's say the first. Tell us about your organization role in disaster mental health. Okay, okay. Maybe you can when they expand, so you can add on how many people are involved. Let's say because they not elaborate in a good manner or in a good perspective about their organization. So you add on how do people join or respond to your team, all right? So this is wording that the props, the add-on words that you can follow up to have the question in your left side will be answered by your respondent. So uh, it's a type of qualitative which is set of premeditated question that you have to prepare. So this is always I help my student or someone sometimes, doctor, can you help me in my instrument? If I have at times, yes, I can help you. But I'm sure everybody have your supervisor. So the follow-up props are very important. Like the third one, what would the ideal DMH training include? Let's say maybe they didn't answer clearly, so you can add on time constraints, sir. So how about people that can be trained? All right, so you add on the question. So the semi-structured interview makes use an interview guide, which is an informal grouping of topics and questions that the interviewer can ask in a different ways. Sometimes they are not clear, they not answer completely. So you need the follow-up course of the four provoke words that they can use. Okay, this is the third one, the unstructured. So this is unstructured, which is it not the directive in the nature. All right, so it can be so the interviewer does not rely on the set of standardized. Okay, you have the idea, you have the guide. Okay, let's say on the right side I put the unstructured. The factor evaluated by interview are implicit and vary across candidates. So you have the unstructured, but the way that it can be understood by the respondent. So uh, the interviewer does not rely on the set, so they just not rely on that one, but they have okay add on words, okay, the prop, right? And number three, an unstructured interview is similar to an everyday conversation, like informal. It's just like maybe you want to ask from the old people, right? So the conversation like informal, right? But it still answer your research question. Okay, this is a very important thing. And the interviews adopt a feedback mechanism to direct the course to the conversation in line with the research. This is the unstructured interview. So you can use this kind of interviews. So it doesn't mean the structured interviews only. So this will show your maturity. Okay, unstructured, three major types. It can be okay. In the unstructured, so there are so many types, right? So there is three major types. Just share with you the three major types, which is one will be oral history, which is gather historical information, right? With the senior citizens about research subject, all right? Maybe also can be a creative interview, which is a type of unstructured interview that is flexible in the nature. It does not abide by the traditional rules and a sequence of conducting an interview, right? So this is a creative interview. So in your chapter 3, you can mention which is you are using the unstructured interview for the types of creative interview. So this is the words that you can use when you write in your chapter 3. Or you have the postmodern interview, a collaborative approach, the roles flexible in give the researcher the opportunity to gather more diverse information from the different angles. So this will be another type of the unstructured if you interview. So you can use so many types. So this is a major types, which is oral history. Maybe you can use the creative interview or postmodern interview. Okay. This is an example, okay, unstructured interview development. Let's say, tell me about, okay, you mentioned just now about Swan. Can you tell me? So this is the words that you can use so you can get more detail on this fiction. So let's say you mentioned on the blah 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 ABC. Sir, can you discuss a specific example from that one, right? So this is more detailed description. So tell me about you mentioned, and you continue with the words that you can get more description from the respondent. So number two will be questionnaires. So everybody say questionnaires, questionnaires, questionnaire. But how you develop the questionnaires? Okay, so remember, questionnaires is instrument that consists a series of questions and prompts to receive response from your respondent or individuals that you want refer to. The questions are designed to collect data from a group or individual, or it is important to note that questionnaire isn't a survey. Remember, questionnaire isn't a survey. So the survey, maybe you have another part, right? So it's kind of question that can be used to fix or alternative scale, and you have the question with the open-ended, all right, scale and etc. And beside that, question tailored to the scope of research. This is a very important thing where you want to design and develop your questionnaire. Okay, all right. Remember again, questionnaire is not a survey. Okay, so how about the questionnaire? What you want to look at? Okay, so first can be administered in a large number and cost effective. Now you can use Google Form, all right. So there's so many platform that you can use. Second, easy to visualize and analyze bisa offer the actionable data. So so let's say you have the construct A, B, C, D. So every construct must support with the item, maybe 5 items and etc. So make sure the actionable data will be answer your uh, cannot say that fill in your name and etc. If you be questionnaires, okay, you get I want to know the student respond, perception, okay, feedback. So must be protect their identity. Okay, questionnaire can cover all area of a topic, and actually people love to use the questionnaire, and it can be used to compare or contrast previous research in the measure change. So this is from your answer where you write in your chapter 6, your summary. So this is your finding. So you can contrast or compare with the previous one. Then you can make a summary in chapter 6. The summary will show your maturity of writing as a postgraduate students. Okay. Oh, 11. Okay. Right. So type a question in a questionnaire. You can have the sorry, you can have the open-ended question. Okay. So the open-ended, you can collect qualitative data in questionnaire also, where the respondent can answer freedom, free, right? So they can write and they can elaborate more for open-ended. Or you can also have, which is we call it as a dichotomous question. All right. For example, on the right side, if you see the green, do you know about polio? So how well do you know about polio? All right. So don't just yes no. Sometimes people have average know about that one. So make sure. So the question is generally yes or no for close-ended question, but usually used in case the need of the validation is much better. So maybe you can have more answer to the your respondents. So on the left side, which is the example on the blue one, which is the open-ended conversation question that you can ask the respondent in your questionnaire. Number three, you also actually use the multiple choice question for the questionnaire. Remember? Okay, all right. So Multiple choice question in questionnaire, okay, are a close-ended question type in which a respondent has to select maybe from single select MCQ or multiple, okay, from the given list of options. Sometimes you have five, right? Multiple select and etc. Or you can use the scaling question. A few of question types are rank order. So maybe you can rank order from the first, which of these component that you love, okay, of food. So they rank in order. So this will be also in a questionnaire, not just a Likert scale. And number five, this one most of the student can use it, which is pictorial questions. Maybe you want to show on something, or you want the kids below 12 years old, all right, or to give a good appropriate visualization to the respondent, so you can use pictorial question. So most of the students didn't use this pictorial question, but I use in my PhD, and I have a good feedback from my examiner. Okay, all right. So it's easy to use and encourage respondents to answer because they can see clearly what you are referring to. So respondent ask a question and answer choices by the image that you give to the individual or a group of people based on certain picture that given. Okay, questionnaire development, maybe you can see on the left side, which is multiple choice question. Let's say you have question here. Which of the following is not a basic element of project management? Yes, you want to ask them about the project development. Maybe on the A part, okay? In the A part, you have the B part and C part. So the first part, maybe you want to refer to this kind of the question. Or you can have the pictorial question. Let's say you ask from the kids 10 years old. So excellent, good, average, poor, very poor. So you can use the icon. My student always do icon because they ask for the Form 1 student, which is 13 years old. So they can't clearly see, which is when you say strongly agree, low agree, very agree. So they cannot see this scale. So you maybe can use the pictorial question. Okay, but make sure appropriate icon or picture that you want to use. And the on the right bottom one, with developing scaling, okay, maybe please allocate 100 point on how you spend your income. Essential, okay, so you just have 1 to 100 or not 100, maybe 1 to 50 ringgit, all right? So they just drag, so you put 1, maybe 10 ringgit, 20 ringgit, etc. So they can use just a scaling question instrument. Okay, all right. So this is creativity of the student. Even though you are master student, you also can use this scaling question instrument. Okay, rules how to design a questionnaire. Number one, okay, identify what you want to cover in a survey. This is a very important thing. And number two, don't mince your words. Remember, okay, and ask only one question at a time. So please double barrel. Let's say, do you love and join? Okay, I love and join the outdoor activities. Okay, maybe I join, but I don't love. Is it can be used in a one item? So you cannot use that one. Please double barrel. Okay, you must use your creativity where you put the wording. So the same thing. First, you want to ask about their perception in the A context. Don't use the same thing at the question number 50, but you try to manipulate the words. Alright? Sometimes you have to use the layman words where you design your questionnaire. And number 4, be flexible with your options. Okay? Don't just yes, no only. Sometimes yes, you can use the yes, no only. But sometimes you have to very flexible. For the attendance, I will share again after this. Okay. or someone can copy and paste for me at the top. And number 5, open or close-ended question is a tough choice. So make sure is it you want to combine. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for those who share again the attendance. All right. And number C, it is important to know your audience. Is it suitable to use A style, B style, or C style for this one, or you have to combine everything? And choosing the right tools is very important where you want to design your question. And last part, instrument which is content analysis. Use a variety of ways with a number of contexts. Okay, you analyze certain content, right? So it has been successfully used to analyze text. Example, technique to use must be included where you will want to look at the content analysis. Okay, very important. Frequency count of nouns, or sometimes you want to, let's say you want to look at their um perception to the response, how many wordings that you want to look at, so you know what actually wordings that help to answer your research question. Okay, this is very important. Some students, they don't know how to analyze the content, right? So the content list can be used as a power research tools to determine purposely for PhD student. Okay, so from the content of the message, how the wordings, the expression they use, so you can use the content analysis of instrument, right? So maybe the attitude of the speaker or writer, right? So this is the content analysis, and also the data log that you want to refer to. Okay, so the content analysis approach chart we can share here, which is you have the topic of research and make sure establish content categories. I'm always uh help my student on the categories. Okay, sometimes you don't know how you carry arrange the categories of the content, so test the category generated. Sometimes you will have to peer from your friends, okay, to get the idea, so then can collect the data. And the final analyze content of data, provide the result with the appropriate themes or um, perspective or paradigm you want to look at. All right. And number 4, sorry, just now it's a 3, so I just add on this morning. Sorry, yesterday, which is the observation. So I love to do the observation, which is sometimes it can be a complete observer as a participant as observer, or you also can look at as a complete participant. All right. So this is the observation that you can be answer your question, and this method is a key base of formulating the hypothesis that you are create. Okay, so make sure the observation will refer to active acquisition of information from the primary source. Then sometimes when you do the analysis for observation, sometimes you need 2 or 3 people. Is it the same things that you found for your findings? Okay, so why you choose observation? Sometimes why you choose, because you want interested in people react, all right, understand the complex worlds, all right. So this is the observation. And sorry, you want to ask something? Want to ask something? All right. Okay, just unmute if you want to ask something. Observation can extremely handy tool to researcher in this regard, but your perspective, okay, must remember sometimes we need do the observation with the checklist and etc. It can allow researcher to understand much more about what goes in the complex real world situation. So therefore you need the observation. It's good to have the observation. My research in my PhD also use the situation. We look at the learning environment, so I do the observation. And best tool for observation, maybe you can use the checklist. All right, you have a certain criteria that allow user to get the information and make judgment on what you want to look at on. Or B, or second, you can direct observation study method, evaluator watches the subject in or user environment, etc. Okay, all right. Okay, this is development of observation instrument. Just an example. Maybe you can have the classroom environment. You just tick maths manipulation tools. Is it have or not? Tick. Math display promote learning. tick, maybe make student word display. So this is the observation for the classroom. So maybe you want to look at the A, B, C for the physical setting, and maybe you want to look at the lesson effectiveness. Maybe you have the A, B, C also, and you have the small item beside the observation instrument. So this is one of the I'll use in my research with my student for the observation instrument. Okay, all right. Okay, this is also I share with you just now. I mentioned just now, which is I use the rubric also. Okay, so on the left side, so you have, let's say, during reading student do what. So is it in a low level implementation, moderate or high level? You just can tick based on this checklist with the items inside this checklist. So yes, it's very hard to develop this one, but however you can make it this one as your the later I will share with you why don't feel like tired when to develop your instrument, so it will be good effect later for your commercialization for your development instrument. Okay, this is just example. And 5 is a focus group. You can also do develop your instrument for the focus group, which is it falls under the primary category, which is for database on the feelings. Sometimes you get the opinions from the respondent. Focus group, you must remember, small group, focus group, big group. So it will be different, different instrument that you must develop and do or the process of your collecting the data. So this research involves asking open-ended question to a group of individuals to provide feedback in certain areas. So it will be focused more on the qualitative, but you must know the focus of your research. So we call it as a focus group. The selected for the focus group people must be very uh, things very important things that you want to select. Okay, emphasize on understanding participant experience, interest, attitude, perspective, assumption, so you can use the focus group. Or you want to information obtained is usually very detailed, elaborate more, you can use also the focus group. And actually the focus group is be cost effective when you compare to one-to-one interview, right? So focus group is much better, and it reflects speed and efficiency in the supply of the results. So this is the thing maybe you want to do using the focus group. So this is just an example. Okay, and next, how you can promote the second part. So my uh, session today, actually the second part. Oh, I have another 10 minutes. So many things I want to share with you. It's okay. So how you can promote your research? Instead, you have the research instrument. Okay. You have developed everything. So how to make sure that you can promote actually your research work? Instead, you have the publication. All right. First, maybe you can join the exhibition or competition, or you can have the 2 minutes thesis or exhibition in national or international level. So please join. My PhD student and my master student, mostly my PhD student and full master research are always um, um, give them time, okay, place to join the exhibition and always our target, which is at least silver or gold, right? So you have your development, you can join the exhibition. So after that I share, so most of the time my PhD student at least join one exhibition or competition and at least must get silver or gold. Don't get the bronze, but would be okay get the bronze. Or research works can promote during your colloquium. So join the colloquium. Or I'm sure the third one, publish your work in the index. This is common one. Publish in the index, turn index, etc. But the second part, which is you also can publish in the other way instead of journal only. Maybe you can get the procedure or ISBN in another perspective. Or you have the collaboration in the organization. My student also have the collaborate in the industry. So it's good to promote your research work. And also you can apply for copyright. So When you graduate from your PhD or master full research, these five elements, or at least four, you must have these four. Don't be doctorate people, but you don't know how to join the exhibition. Oh my God, right? You must have the experience of that. During my PhD, I follow my supervisor, enter the exhibition, not just the level of national, but we managed to gain best of the best award in the PWTC, the national, even though it is a national exhibition, but it's a very prestige. And from there, I learned something. When I entered the exhibition, for the first part, my supervisor elaborate for the judges want to assess our project. And when later we managed to get best of the best, so they have the top five finalists. So on that time, my supervisor is not there. So I have to elaborate everything. So this experience will be your momentum where you be a doctorate later. Okay. So after that, if you go to my room, I managed to get more than 50 gold medal with my student. Okay. So the first time always I put my student name. But most of the time I will help them. And okay, all right. So another part, uh second part, of course, you have the publication. Third part, please apply the copyright. Okay, don't you graduate from PhD, you just have publication in your, okay, I have journal only. Oh my God, right? So please expose your research and promote your works. Okay, this is example. Okay, I want to share this page, right? When you talk about the exhibition, oh, stop sharing. If you have any question, just ask, okay? Okay. All right. This year, 2022, in university technology also, okay, we have the national, I think it will be national or university level. We call it as a new academic learning innovation. So here, please still have a time. Promote your work, not just journal only. Please, your paradigm, okay? Paradigm shift, okay? All right. Maybe you can join. It's not quite, it's not too hard. My PhD student, most of my student at least one, um maybe three, four times. Valerie, Aziza, Masura, they enter and manage to get at least silver, and most of the time will be gold. So this is one of the example. So it's not too hard. Let's say you can enter this one, still have a time, okay? Exhibition is not too hard. Just look at the objective. Remember, different competition or exhibition will be have different objective. If the objective want to look at the innovation product, of course, the development of your technology or web-based apps would show the innovation. Why? Because you just not develop the instrument only, but you have the theory, anything, you gather the data, right, and you put inside your web page or online learning in your Google Classroom, etc. This is show your innovation, actually, your innovation product. So innovation product in teaching learning, of course, please enter this one, okay, this exhibition and competition. It's easy. uh, you can look at the bottom here, presentation. They just need the objective. Maybe you have one or two objective. Your improvement, you see, not the totally new, not totally creative, but just a new improvement or changes from maybe learning science. Previously, they just use the common class activity, active learning, normal activity. So you put some approach that will be show your innovativeness. So you can enter. Of course, I'm sure you will get at least silver or gold or what, all right? So, and it will be, of course, all right, impact to students' learning. If you develop on something, impact, so you have the objective, you have the innovative, okay, and it will be impact on your respondent. and please enter this exhibition. Okay, you can enter any exhibition. I will show you later. Okay, and just the important thing, if you want to enter, you have all these things, 3 items. Of course, you can elaborate on your objective. You have the novelty, you have the innovative. Of course, you have your novelty, your ideas, your design, how you can design. You have the chapter 4, right? So you can include this one, your creativity design, okay? And then your and of course, the new academic linear derivation, which is based on the certain learning model, right? Or an impact on student, commercialize if you have the potential, not commercialize. Now you have the you done the commercial, but potential, just potential. So if you have this item, I'm sure you will get at least silver, but most of the time PhD student will get the gold award. And you also, okay, like me, we have the national level, and after that, UTM through my supervisor support us go to the Switzerland, the Geneva awards in 2008, 2008. Okay, you can look at the news. So we managed to get silver award even though international level, because I have a problem with our project, um, our bag stranded in the UK. So even though we not have a complete product on that time, but we did manage to deliver to uh, the judges, all right? So we managed to get the silver. If you say, if I manage to get all the product, of course, inshallah, get the gold award. But it will be from the thousand of the product we managed to get the silver award. So I'm sure you guys also can manage to get that one, even though in the national or international, or you go the overseas to enter the um any exhibition. And now we have the IUCEL. They will close on the 10th, if not mistaken. So it's easy. You just look the judging criteria. Okay, always look at the judging criteria. Is it they want to look at the innovation, or they want to just most of the time it will be product innovation. Okay, so more or less will be the same. Okay, all right. And when you look at on the scoring, it's simple. Usefulness, is it useful or not? Is it practical or not? Any added value? So you just show certain item in your development or instrument. So the important thing, the originality, creativity you have. Okay, in chapter 4, right? You have all these in chapter 4 and evidence for your chapter 5. Then you can enter your, maybe you look at on the objective A and B only, all right? So you can enter based on the A and B, and later maybe you can enter the exhibition for the second or third time based on your third or fourth objective, all right? Your maybe your final framework, all right? Your final model. So this is another. Therefore, my student, my PhD student, most of the time they would enter 3 to 4 competition based on the objective they are refer to. Okay, so recognition, maybe you have, let's say you have the recognition from the best paper in journal, right? So you can include in your just this one, just they have to submit just a poster, each poster, so you can include in the poster, or maybe sometimes they need the video, right? So just add on in the video. So we have so many exhibition this year. All right, so this one also, this is another example. So they just want the digital poster, okay, and the video. Then after that you submit and explain what actually you have developed for your research project, have an little bit data, all right? So include in this poster and video, and I'm sure inshallah manage to get the awards for your works that you have 3 4 years that you do with your supervisor. So there's so many other um exhibition and competition out there. So this is one of the prestige, which is in the Geneva that I mentioned to you. So maybe you can enter as me and my supervisor, enter also for the event in the Geneva. This one will be the World for Education, right? Okay, and we have also another for the our Mohi. Okay, so we can join the ITEC 2022. It's on the June. Okay, so this still open. I'm not sure it open or not. Okay, I still open in until 15. 15 June, right? On the 15 or 10 June. Okay, so they will close just and submit. And commercialization. So just now I shared with you the about the how you can commercialize. So in the UTM we have the ICC. Ah, 11:30. Okay, last part, another 5 minutes. Okay, so a few things that you can go or apply for your PhD as a PhD. Most of the time in your intellectual property. Okay, all my PhD students will apply their IP for their research end product, their output, the end product they will apply, and all my students managed to get the IP, right? So what actually in the IP? So basically either this one I share with you. Okay, so innovation and commercialization for your PhD. Make sure you are PhD candidates so you can commercialize. It's not very hard. It's a very simple one. If you look at this one, I want to scroll just a very fast part. Okay, there are few things. First, you can apply for the well, actually you can apply for IP, which is below here. First, you can apply for the patent. Maybe it will be on the hard for patent because patent for the technical only, technical invention. Okay, the trademarks, logo or brands. Of course, you don't have logo or brands, will be excluded for that one. But for people have the aesthetic design, shape, configuration, so you can apply for industrial design. For me, or for my student, this is the part copyright. I am sure all the supervisor have more than 20 or 30 copyright. If your work in 10 years, okay, of course you get 20 or 25, 30 copyright. Okay, so this is the artistic and others. Okay, copyright can also include. Okay, I scroll in the page 23. Okay, just I have 5 minutes. It's very fast. Okay, page 33. Faster, faster. Okay, here. Right. If you have these items, this is a copyright. Okay, if you have model, apps, questionnaire, framework, manual, form, procedure, lab sheet, tables, algorithm, software, video recording, workbook, and others. You can apply for copyright. Okay, so this is how you can commercialize your work. So don't graduate, you just have one only. Yes, of course, you have 5 journal paper. Oh my God, you just have paper only. All right, make sure you apply the copyright also. Okay, okay, I think will be I have to stop. So many things I want to share will be okay, but at least apply for the copyright. It's not hard, just easy. Okay, they have the manual here. Certain item you must include it in the copyright. uh let's say your you just see the CR here. Have the funding will be okay, no problem. As long the benefits, how the declaration form, application declaration, you have to a little bit details what you want to put inside the copyright. Let's say the design of your ads and etc. So you can look at for this user manual. Okay, I think that will be my sharing session for today, and I hope you guys will get um some information from me, and I open for any question. The questionnaire isn't a survey, but in 7 rows of questionnaire, there is a step into determine a topic in the survey. I don't understand what difference. Okay, all right. For the questionnaire, the they will be the questionnaire will look at on the perspective or feedback and also perception, all right, response from the user. Okay, but the survey most of the time you observe on something, all right. So sometimes always student conflict between the questionnaire and also the survey. But I'm sure that the survey itself so many perspectives. Sometimes it look like a questionnaire, but it go to the category. They will be in a categories of the survey. Okay, all right. No worries too much. Okay, but however, the items for the survey also you can adapt or adopt from the other people research. Okay, I open another question. 1 minute. No question. Last year so many questions until I don't have enough time. So any other question? Tak ada? Ataupun ada soalan dalam bahasa Melayu? Okay, alright. I hope that one day, maybe this year, you can join any exhibition, and I pray for you will get a good awards for your project, and good pay for you. Maybe you can commercialize to the copyright, so it will be easy form actually to fill in the copyright. Thank you for that. Okay, all right. So make sure if you have module, you can apply for copyright. If you have the apps, you can apply for the copyright. So when you go back to your country, your university, you just not have the publication. Publication also so many perspective. Maybe you also can only not just a journal. Maybe you have the news. You can have the ISBN book and etc. All right. So enter competition, get back awards. Okay. All right. So maybe you have to collaborate with the school. You have the collaborator certificate and etc. Okay. All right. So that's all for today. If you don't have any question, don't have any question. Thank you for idea for copyright. It's really okay. All right. Thank you. Mainly Zanwiye. All right. Okay. Hope you guys will get some ideas from our session today. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. I will pass this some of the information and also the PowerPoint to the our assistant professor Dr. Z who will share with you. Can I have a one picture with you guys? Can you, if you can open your camera? Oh, thank you so much. Very cheerful face. All right, Lilawati, fans, Zulaika, Seri, Laili, Wang Jian, Xiaomi, oh, so many, Wang Jian. Okay, all right. Okay, we have the Aimi, Arina, Hafiz, want to open. Okay, can you say yeah? And what to say? 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait, I have to paste. I want to paste it. Wait, I want another picture. Here's the first one. Okay, second. All right, say yes. Okay, only 2 pages. All right, and I have to again another last one. Okay, and bye. Screen capture. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Doctor.
I will share with you. Yes, I'll share with you. Okay, the videos.